So again, the discussion is meant to be interactive, so that means you're going to need to talk and answer questions. The Bible, maybe you didn't realize this, but you will after we think of all the names. The Bible draws a lot of attention to barren women, women who weren't able to have children. Can you think of some of them? I thought of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sarah? What's that? Elizabeth, as mentioned here. 2? What's that? Samson's mom is 3. Mary is another one. That's okay. That makes 7. Hannah is another one. 2 more from the Old Testament right after Sarah. Wasn't Rebecca barren? And wasn't Rachel for a time barren? That's why she got into an argument, right, with Leah, was not happy, right? Here's the question to think about. I mean, there's a lot of times that he's drawing attention to someone who could not have children. Why? Why does God highlight that in his word? Yeah, because what's being described with a situation where someone's barren? They can't have kids. It's impossible to have kids, right? So he highlights that because it shows his power to do the impossible. 3, all humankind has found itself in not a seemingly impossible situation, but a completely impossible situation. What's the completely impossible situation we find ourselves in? What's that? We find ourselves in this condition called sin. And maybe we should just take a minute or 2 to flesh it out, because we just say that so quickly, right? And then we move on to the next thing because we hear it so much. But describe the condition we're in because of sin. Going to hell, there's a punishment, a result of that. Okay, what else? We struggle, right? And we are slaves to sin sometimes. What else? We're separated from God. We're in this condition of being totally, remember in Genesis where it says their inclination was only evil all the time? So maybe it shouldn't surprise us when, sadly, we see all these shootings going on and they're increasing. In a world loving God less and less, we're really seeing sin for what it truly is, apart from God's intervention. So it's a serious, sad condition, right? 4, so God solves this situation that's impossible for us, this horrible condition of sin we're in. He solved it with the virgin birth. Now explain that. It's the only way he could solve it. There's no other way he could have solved it except with a virgin birth. Why? You can think for a while. I'll just stop talking and wait.
Because 2 humans produce a simple child, so if it was human conception, it would not be.
So what did we need to get back into a relationship with God? We need perfectness, okay? And we also needed the other half, sin taken away, sin gone. Not just perfectness, we needed both, right? So Jesus had to be a man. Why? So he could live a human perfect life in our place, and so he could die, because God can't die. Jesus had to be God so that he could live a perfect life, because no human is perfect anymore. And he had to be God so that his death would be starts with an I, I-N-N, innocent death. In other words, he wasn't paying his wages when he died on the cross because he was God. Therefore, he could apply that death for everyone. The birth had to be a virgin. You had to get the human half. You had to get the God half. Pretty amazing, isn't it? If you think of it. Pretty comforting, too. And this virgin birth is your absolute guarantee of salvation. If it wasn't virgin birth, we are sunk. Go on the next page. Application. What amazed you most about Mary's response to the angel? You can peek back at the text if you want. What's that? She didn't question him at all. What did she say in the end? Well, let it just be. I don't understand this one bit. This is completely beyond mine. But just let it be as you said. She believed even though she didn't understand. So, what are some situations in life where we find ourselves in, like Mary, where maybe it would be good to respond like Mary did? Can you think of some? She was in kind of an impossible, not able to understand situation. And then she responds, let it be. Can you think of some? Illnesses. Especially lingering illnesses. Okay, God, let it be to me as it's happening. Craig?
When our plans aren't going the way we thought they could.
Yeah, now we can all relate to that, Craig. Our plans aren't going the way we think they should be. I don't understand why it's going this way. God, let it be, as you have said. Good. One or two more thoughts? Yeah, a loss. A loss, right? Let's go to the take-home discussion questions. Maybe we have enough time. We'll think about these a little bit. Then that'll give you some lead-ins to talk about when you go home. Jesus is greater than Samson. How many ways can you think of where this is true? Probably some obvious ones. What's that? Samson can't forgive our sins. Jesus can. He's greater than Samson in that way. Good. I didn't think of that. Other thoughts? Jesus is God. Samson wasn't. Yeah, he died, went to hell for us, pay for our sins. Samson couldn't do that. Anything else? What's that? Yeah, he lived a perfect life. Samson didn't. Other? How about some picture language? Remember the animal Samson defeated? A lion? Can you make a parallel? Samson may have defeated a lion, but Jesus defeated the lion. Doesn't the Bible say the devil's a roaring lion prowling around, right? So you can even make that picture, right? You could say, Samson, that Jesus actually placed himself into the jaws of death. Samson grabbed the jaws of the lion, we're told, and ripped him apart. But Jesus placed himself into the jaws of death of our behalf. One more. Do you remember what he killed all those Philistines with? What part of an animal? The jawbone, part of a skull. And where was Jesus crucified? Calvary, Golgotha, the place of the skull. So anyways, things you can think about when you talk about this. Let's continue with our hymn, From Heaven Above.